Hi everyone, today we're going to be talking about affordable makeup, primarily those basics. So if you are a beginner or you find makeup application a bit of a challenge, then these are those basic items that I think are so easy to apply, very beginner friendly, very easy to blend out for all situations. So there are going to be options, whether you're wanting a cream-based product or a powder-based product. We're going to cover all bases in this video today. I actually got this video idea from Allie Glines. She did a video titled "The Only Affordable Makeup That You Will Ever Need," and I thought it was a really good idea. So I have adapted Allie's idea for the over 40s, because once you hit a certain age, you need slightly different things from your makeup. If you're new here, hi, my name's Gemma. I'm almost 45 years old and my skin has a personality of its own. Sometimes it doesn't like me. It just differs from day to day. If you are suffering something similar and you're wanting somebody to make your life a little bit easier where makeup and skincare is concerned, I would love it if you'd come and join the family by clicking on the like button, the subscribe button, and that notification bell. If you are a returning viewer, if you've already hit that subscribe button, thank you so much. Welcome back. So I like to do my brows first because I think brows are so super important. They frame the face and they allow the other features on the face to pop and shine. So they are a key feature that I would never leave bare. Now, if you are a beginner, I would go for an eyebrow pencil rather than an eyebrow pen. Slightly more easy to navigate, and you can do a lot of shading with an eyebrow pencil. You can also create hair-like strokes if that's the way you want to go. If you are a little bit more advanced, I would opt for a brow pen. That's where I happily sit because I can make my brows look a lot more natural. So first and foremost, I like to go in with a brow gel. This is the e.l.f. Brow Laminating Gel, and I think hands down it is the best hold on the market. I do also like a product from Maybelline. I think that is incredibly good, but I like all of the bells and whistles that come with this, and it is super affordable. So you not only have a great spoolie, but you also have on the other end a nice little comb that you can comb through the brows once the product is in place and really push those brow hairs back to the skin, giving it a more laminated feel. Like I said before, if you are a beginner, the NYX Microbrow Pencil is the product that I would recommend to you because it's great at shading as well as filling in with little tiny strokes. However, if you are not a beginner like me and you want to fill in your brows with those tiny strokes that are a little bit more vivid in color, then I would go for a brow pen. The one that I'm really loving at the moment is the Build-A-Brow from Maybelline. The Build-A-Brow is such a great product. It does come in a variety of shades, so hopefully you'll find one that suits your needs. It does also come with a brow gel of its own, which has really good hold, but I found that it doesn't last very long. You don't actually get a lot of the product in there, so I prefer to use the e.l.f. lamination gel for my brow gel needs. This is also a great product because you don't have to have brow hairs to begin with to create a really natural full brow effect. You can start from scratch. So if you overplucked in the 1990s or you've had treatment which has meant that you've lost all your brow hairs, this is the product that I would point you towards. Let's move on to base products, and I've got a couple of options for you, whether you're wanting something at flat medium coverage or whether you're wanting something slightly more versatile, you're wanting to be able to sheer it out for those summer days or those no makeup days. I would go for the Maybelline Superstay 24-Hour Skin Tint. I've gone for the shade 5.5. It is great for me. I do like to use a damp sponge for this, not a dry sponge, because I feel like if the sponge is dry, it just soaks up all the product and then nothing gets on your skin. So I'm just going to pop a little bit on there, really pack it on the sponge, and then tap it into the skin. And it's just going to even out the skin tone. Now that's only one coat of the foundation, and I think it is really pretty. So that is the product sheared out, but if you want to build it up, you definitely can. So I like to add the serum foundation with one side of my blending sponge and then take the other side, which is the clean side of the blending sponge, and go over that area one more time to remove any excess product to stop it from looking overly heavy. But this is more like medium coverage. This is 2 layers of the foundation. I would say this is quite a high medium coverage for medium coverage, so you definitely can get a really decent amount of coverage out of this skin tint if you want to. If you're not wanting the extra step of having to build the foundation up, if you're wanting a medium coverage straight away from the first coat, this would be my recommendation. The e.l.f. Soft Glam Satin Foundation is such a beautiful foundation. It is also only £8, which is just phenomenal. I go in with this straight away with a brush. I can go in with a blending sponge afterwards and just make sure that I don't have too much product on my skin so that it looks more like skin, and it takes away that fear of getting any sort of cakey foundation throughout the day, but I don't always feel that that is necessary. So I'm just going to pat this on with a brush. It's such a great foundation. It's got a satin finish, as the name would suggest, whereas the Maybelline is a very skin-like finish, but it has a slight more glow to it than the satin finish of the e.l.f. Satin Foundation. I also think that the e.l.f. foundation is slightly more blurring, so if you do have any large pores or any texture that you want to conceal, then the e.l.f. foundation may be a better fit for you. But you can see side by side, there is a slight difference in the level of glow. The Maybelline side, the skin tint is slightly glowier, and the satin foundation is more of a soft satin matte, so much more diffusing, more airbrushing. For me, it's more flattering on my skin, but so many people absolutely adore the Maybelline skin tint. I had to include it in this video because it is incredibly versatile. For concealer, I think it's really important to go for something that is super versatile, because I, on a day-to-day basis, don't know how much coverage I'm going to want underneath my eyes. Sometimes I'm wearing no makeup whatsoever, but just need a little pick-me-up in that section underneath the eyes, but sometimes I want full-on glam. And if I can get one product that suits both of those needs, then win-win. So I have definitely found one. This has been my favorite affordable concealer for a considerable amount of time now, and it's the Catrice Liquid Camouflage Concealer. I think this is so good. If you put this on neat, it is going to give you full coverage. So you are going to get that full-on glam, wipe every secret from your soul look. But if you're wanting something more subtle, like the no makeup, you just add a couple of drops of your favorite eye cream or your favorite moisturizer to this, and it really loosens off the product and it works really well. So it's really good at working with other products. So this is one layer of the concealer and it is phenomenal coverage. I sometimes build this up a tiny bit more. You can totally build this concealer up. It again is very versatile. So if you do require a little bit of extra coverage, you can definitely do that. I'm going to share with you how I would mix this with my favorite eye cream just to get less coverage and a slightly different finish. So depending on the amount of coverage that you want underneath the eye depends on how much moisturizer to how much concealer you mix. So I'm just going to put a squirt of my favorite eye cream on the back of my hand and mix that in with the concealer. So that's just given me the tiniest bit of coverage and it feels so hydrating and nourishing. This isn't going to crease throughout the day because it's completely sank into the skin. I love how versatile this concealer is. You can obviously get more coverage from it depending on how you mix the formula with how much of the moisturizer versus how much of the concealer. I definitely need more coverage and I want to look even on both sides, so I am just going to go and apply a little bit of the Neat Concealer over the top. My cream bronzer of choice at the moment is one that I've never spoken about on my channel before and I've no idea why. This is the Sculpting Touch Creamy Stick Contour from Kiko Milano. Now, I don't think this is actually a contour stick because this isn't cool tone enough. It's cool toned enough for a bronzer because I don't like an overly orange bronzer, but for me, not cool tone enough for a contour product. I am going to apply it like a contour though. Can you see the level of warmth in this? It's more of a neutral, so it's got equal levels of warmth versus cool, which I love in a bronzer. And then all I do is take the same brush that I've used for my foundation just to soften it off a little bit. I think it just blends so much better if you've got a little bit of product left over on your brush. And you just got to tap it in, and it's just so flattering. Makes a massive difference without going streaky or patchy or settling into any dryness or fine lines. Even though I don't feel like I need any more bronzer on my skin, I am going to apply a little bit of my powder bronzer recommendation just to show you what it looks like. If you are a beginner, this is definitely my recommendation. It's the Silky Matte Bronzing Powder from Milani. This is the shade 02 Sunkissed. The reason I think this is so good is because it is silky smooth, and unlike some other really beautiful, affordable bronzers that are on the market that are more of a velvety finish, this is more beginner friendly in my eyes. It's less prone to attaching itself to damp areas of the face and going a little bit patchy. Very easy to apply and very easy to blend. So I'm going to take my BK Beauty 104 brush and just show you how easy this is. So just dusting that in a little bit, knocking off the excess and taking a very light touch and just patting that over my forehead. This is such a beautiful consistency. It blends really beautifully, and you need the lightest touch, so it doesn't take a lot of swirling of the brush to get this blended out. Just patting motions does the job really nicely. And if you do have a powder bronzer, not only can you apply this to the cheeks and the forehead and the tip of the chin and down the neck, but you also have that versatility of taking an eyeshadow pencil and popping a little bit in the crease as well, just to make everything look a little bit more cohesive, a little bit more together, and you just add a lifted look to the corner of the eye. I mean, it's just so lovely. In my opinion, the only affordable blush that I would ever need in my life that suits every single purpose is the e.l.f. Camouflage Liquid Blush in the shade Peach Perfect. This is just perfection on me. I love it. It is super pigmented, so it's not for the faint of heart, but how I would apply it is make sure you get some on the back of your hand and really smooth that out, and then take a flat brush, mine is the Refa 17 brush, dip into that once so you've got some product on the brush, and then work that from the area on the cheek that you want the most pigmentation, and then in circular motions just tap and diffuse that out on the cheeks. This works not only very well on bare skin, but it works well over the top of powder without disturbing the products underneath it. Both Allie and I agree on our powder blush recommendation. This is great regardless of age. This has primer in here, so it's very good at smoothing and blurring, and it goes on superbly well and is very easy to blend out. This is from e.l.f. and it's the primer infused blush in the shade Always Rosy. I like to use a fluffy brush whenever I'm going in with a powder product, especially a really pigmented powder product, the first time that you're applying, because you don't want to go overboard. I'd rather build up slowly than put too much on straight away with a really dense brush and then have to buff it out, really, hindering the skin barrier somewhat. So I just like to pop that on with a fluffy brush and build up gradually. I like a powder to set my makeup so that it lasts a bit longer, but I don't want my powder to completely mattify my makeup look and make my skin look unnatural. I also don't want it to dry out my skin or make my skin look crusty or cakey throughout the day. This is my affordable powder of choice. It is absolutely superb. It's from Beauty Pie and it's the Wonder Filter Magic Blurring Loose Powder. This is a talc-free formula. The main ingredient in here is silica, which is why it is so smoothing. The only thing I need to warn you about, if you are allergic or sensitive to cornstarch, this is quite high in cornstarch as well. I don't find this drying on the skin at all, and I do have very dry patches around the corners of my mouth, like just at the bottom of my chin area here, and I feel like that this actually blurs over those dry areas rather than adding to those dry areas and accentuating them. So once again, I'm going to get a fluffy brush. You can use a powder puff, you can use a blending sponge, taking a little bit of the powder on my brush, first and foremost going in just in those areas that are slightly oilier, namely my T-zone, corners of my nose, top lip, and my chin. And then I'm going to take my powder puff, dip into the excess powder in the lid. Don't want to be picking up too much powder. Knocking it off on the back of my hand. And then going in underneath my eyes. Look at that. Oh my goodness. Mascara time, and there is only one contender for me. If you've watched my videos recently, you will know exactly which mascara I am going to recommend. It is the Maybelline Firework Mascara. This is part of the Lash Sensational range, and I am in love with this. I'm choosing to use this mascara over the masses of high-end mascaras that I have in my drawer. This is quite a wet formula, and I think it's either a love it or hate it formula. Some people really don't like a wet formula. I personally do, because I think you've got a little bit more playtime with the lashes to really get them where you want them. I don't think this is a clumpy mascara. I think the drier the formula, the more clumpy they're going to be. And because this is such a wet formula, you get a lot of product on the lashes at once, but they stay separated. This also holds a curl for me, and it's very, very quick to apply. I can get right at the base of the lashes and really stroke those in an upward motion, lifting them even more. As I get older and my lips start to shrink and my lip border becomes less defined, I see more of an importance in a lip liner than I did when I was younger. I very rarely have a full face of makeup on anymore without having a good lip liner to just give me a little bit more definition in my lips. My affordable lip liner of choice is a no-brainer for me. It's from NYX and it's the Line Loud lip pencil. This comes in so many different shades. I don't know whether it actually says whether this is a waterproof lip liner, but I find that it is waterproof. I also find that it is smudge-proof and transfer-proof. Once this is locked in place, it does not move. So you're not having to continuously reapply this when you've had a bite to eat or whether you've had a drink. It just holds steady and firm. I also don't think this is an overly drying formula. Obviously, it's not a lipstick. It is a lip liner, so there will be an element of drying within this formula if you are going to apply it absolutely all over the body of the lip, so bear that in mind. But if I do use it in that way, I tend to put a gloss, which is very hydrating, over the top to counteract the negative side effects. If you're after a lipstick, I don't think you can get any better than the MUA Satin Sheen Lip Stylo. This is in the shade Super Nude. It's a lovely pinky tone and it's really very, very comfortable on the lips. It's opaque, so you're not going to see any of your lip poking through, which I really like. I do love those moisturizing lipsticks where you do see a little bit of the lip poking through, but this is definitely more of an opaque lipstick. But I also love the consistency, the texture, and the sheen on the surface of this. If you are wanting just a lip gloss either on its own or as a topper for a lipstick, then I would definitely recommend the e.l.f. Glow Reviver Lip Oil. This is so good. Once again, I would never know that this was an inexpensive product if this was a blind test. So that is the finished look. They are my starter kit essentials. You don't need every single product that I've spoken about in this video. I just want to give you options depending on your needs. Pick what you'd like to wear the most. There are lots of things, lots of little adaptations that you can make. Here are my personal starter kit essentials. They're the ones that I would personally go for if I was to start my affordable collection again from scratch. Please let me know what your starter kit essentials are in the comments section. Also, please don't forget to like and subscribe before you leave. I really hope you've enjoyed this video. Let me know what you thought about it in the comments section and hope to see you all in the next one. Bye everyone.